In 1993, the UFC showed the world the effectiveness of Brazilian jiu-jitsu as a martial art. Over 30 years later, the sport still plays a huge role in MMA, and tonight, some of the best grapplers in the world will showcase their lethal ground skills under the UFC Fight Pass banner. In the main event, we have the third American ever to win an IBJJF World Championship at black belt, ADCC veteran and former MMA middleweight world champion Rafael Lovato Jr. The undefeated MMA fighter has 9 finishes professionally, with 7 coming by submission. Tonight, he faces 2-time ADCC silver medalist Craig Jones. This will be Jones's second time headlining a Fight Pass Invitational after defeating Felipe Pena at FPI 4. In the co-main event, returning FPI 4 absolute champion Nicky Rodriguez makes his 4th straight FPI appearance in a rubber match against Roberto Jimenez. Can the 2023 IBJJF Absolute Nogi World Champion come out on top in this trilogy against the Black Belt Slayer? Live from the UFC Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada, this is the UFC Fight Pass Invitational 6. Las Vegas continues to host some of the most deadly combat athletes to ever walk the earth. Tonight, the Fight Capital is the destination for an outstanding collection of elite grapplers looking to test themselves and entertain the watching world. Headlining tonight is a martial artist of the truest sense. There isn't much Rafael Lovato Jr. hasn't already seen or accomplished in combat sports. He won his first Nogi World title back in 2010 and has stacked gold since. He says in order to evolve, you must continue to compete, and tonight he draws a pretty formidable opponent in Craig Jones. Co-founder of the world-renowned B-Team, Jones has been helping take grappling to the masses, both with his engaging personality, but of course, his world-class and dynamic game. His resume includes big wins over top-class opposition, including Felipe Pena in the main event, right here at FPI 4. Competing styles and personalities, our main event athletes are all set. We are live from the UFC Apex for the UFC Fight Pass Invitational 6. On UFC Fight Pass. Welcome, fight fans, and welcome, Matt Side. My name is John Good, and delighted to be alongside UFC welterweight Michael Chiesa. We will be joined by Morgan Worth and BMAT Brian McCatherine a little bit later, but first we get to celebrate the superb register of grapplers that will be competing here. There is gold everywhere, Chiesa, and some really good matchups too.
Oh, there's some great matchups tonight. Something I'm looking forward to is I love seeing some of my fellow colleagues in the UFC get the chance to show their grappling chops here at FPI, basically in their backyard here at the Apex. So a lot of exciting matches, John. It's going to be a good night.
Can you pick out a particular matchup that you like?
It's 2 athletes in particular. I'm excited to see Carol Hossa and Denise Gomes. 2 ladies that are known for their striking in the UFC, and I'm excited to see them showcase their grappling skills on the biggest stage.
Love it. Well, 4 opinions are better than 2, and with that, I'm going to send it over to Morgan and BMAT, who are going to preview tonight, but also give us an update on the rules.
Thanks, John. Brandon, as our resident rule expert, you know, you've been here and seen how the Fight Pass Invitational has revolutionized no-gi grappling. And with that, they're creating their own rule set. So what has that process been like?
Well, you know, just having the UFC involved in jiu-jitsu with the growth of the sport and everything that's going on has been crazy. But one thing that the UFC really understands is that they need a rule set that both keeps true to the spirit of jiu-jitsu, but that also makes it fun to watch on TV. And so with that spirit, they've made a couple of changes to the rules, and it's just a constantly evolving rule set, trying to find the right mix of true to jiu-jitsu and fun for the fans to watch.
Well, I think it's important to emphasize that regulation is submission only, and once we pass that point, they'll go into a modified points rule set. So what are the keys for these athletes competing under this set of rules?
Well, the most important thing that they've got to remember is that as long as they finish this fight, there's no need to go to the rules, there's no need to go to the judges. But if it does happen to go into the overtime period, it will be scored with 2 points for pretty much any activity except for your major positions. Mount and back, both going to achieve 4. And if we still can't decide it after the points period, then we're going to go to the judge's decision.
And how does this promote more exciting grappling?
Well, by keeping it submission only, it really helps us to focus on what it is that we all love about jiu-jitsu the most, and that's finding a way to finish fights.
Well, you're calling these matches all night, so what are you looking most forward to tonight?
I think the matchup that holds the most potential for fireworks has got to be Cody Steele versus Ronaldo Jr. Both of these guys keep an insane pace, and they're going to be pushing the entire time, not just for the beginning of the fight, not just till somebody needs a break. Neither one of these guys are going to take a break, and we might see somebody fly off the mats tonight. I don't know what's going to happen with these guys.
I don't know if we want to see that, but I'm looking forward to it.
I kind of want to.
Brandon, thank you so much for breaking down these rules. John?
Thank you very much, Morgan. BMAC, we'll see you in a quick second in the booth. Now, here's a quick look at our Absolute Division matchups coming your way. And it gets heavy early as big man Flo Victor Hugo returns to FPI following his submission win here last December. He draws the 2023 Ultra Heavy No-Gi World Champ, Roosevelt Souza. Mason Fowler has been perfect in all 4 outings to the FPI mats. He draws Pedro Mourinho. Nicolas Marigali looks to extend his domination from the gi to the no-gi as he meets Mateus Diniz. In the co-main, Nicky Rod and Roberto Jimenez meet for the 3rd time in their careers. It's currently 1-1, so all to play for. And of course, in the main event, Craig Jones locks up with Rafael Lovato Jr. Michael, 2 different schools of grappling in our headliner.
Oh, absolutely. Rafael Lovato is such a veteran of the sport, and he's a former MMA world champion for Bellator. And this is a guy, when I bring up the mixed martial arts record, it's because you know there's an emphasis on the wrestling. He spent time training in the Oklahoma wrestling room, and I think that that's going to be a big part in his game to keep evolving his style, because he's been around so long that people can figure out. And on the other side, you have Craig Jones, who is such a creative grappler. This is a guy that, look, he's a lot of fun online. He's quite the personality, but he is a very fierce competitor. He's very dangerous, and he can create submissions. He can create situations that you can't train for.
Fascinating main event, and in the co-main event, 2 men that know each other well, Nicky Rod and Roberto Jimenez. Roberto Jimenez coming into this one with some really good form.
You know, Roberto Jimenez, when you talk about 1993 when Royce Gracie introduced jiu-jitsu to the world, he showed size doesn't matter when it comes to the sport of mixed martial arts. He's coming in at a 26-pound disadvantage against a very powerful Nicky Rodriguez. I mean, Nicky Rodriguez, he's very big, he's very physical, he's very strong, and he loves that body lock pass. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the undersized Roberto Jimenez deals with the power and the force of Nick Rodriguez when he gets his hand locks. It's going to be a fun match. That one I'm really excited for, John.
Absolutely. Lots to get excited about tonight, and some really interesting storylines as well. And with that, I'm going to send it over to Morgan, who's got a little bit on our fighting couple tonight.
Thanks, John. Fight night looks a little different for UFC veterans and power couple Carol Hossa and Denise Gomes. While training out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, the duo has never fought in the same night on the UFC. However, this is their 2nd time competing in the same grappling tournament. Gomes said competing together helps her mentally, as Hossa serves as her motivation, always pushing her in training. And as for Hossa, she said she feels no pressure competing in this Fight Pass Invitational, and she's just having fun getting to do this with her partner. The 9th-ranked UFC bantamweight told me that the hardest part about the whole experience is cutting weight at the same time, but she's looking forward to them being done and getting to eat a lot of food. And John, she said after she's done supporting Denise Gomes, they're going to get some pizza.
Let's not keep these athletes waiting any longer. We're all set to kick off the show. Women's MMA pioneer and 3-time no-gi world champion Raquel Canuto has made the short trip across town from her academy, looking to get the Las Vegas fans cheering. And she has just the right dance partner when she steps on the mats against current UFC bantamweight contender Carol Hossa. So here walks Carol Hossa from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. She's representing the PRVT team. Obviously an active UFC athlete, Michael, in the women's bantamweight division. 6-3 record now, and back to action after a barn burner of a fight as well.
Yeah, you know, she's ranked number 9 in the world at bantamweight, and she's very well known for her striking, like I said in the open, but I love the fact that she's here testing herself, showing us the other side of her skill set. She's a very talented mixed martial artist, And to me, for her to step on this stage against such a tough competitor shows she wants to show she's more than a striker, that she's got submissions up her sleeve as well.
Great to have Hossa here at FPI 6. And here's her opponent, Raquel Canuto, women's MMA pioneer BMAC, dating back to 2010, taking on some of women's MMA's blue chip names. She's since turned her attention to competitive grappling. Obviously a three-time IBJJF World No-Gi gold medalist, you know, 2017, 19, and 2021 as well.
Yeah, and not just that, not just is she a winner, but she's exciting to watch. Her whole family's exciting to watch do jiu-jitsu. Also, Renato Canuto. I mean, both the Canutos, incredible pace, incredible high-level grappling, and she's a finisher as well, John.
Looking forward to getting this underway here at the Apex. Let's take a look at our opening tale of the tape. Raquel Canuto representing the United States and hybrid jiu-jitsu, going up against Carol Hossa representing Brazil and PVRT. To set the table for the first time tonight, here's our veteran announcer, Justin Bernard.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the UFC Fight Pass Invitational 6, live from the UFC Apex, Las Vegas, Nevada. Our first match is a women's featherweight no-gi singles match, scheduled for 8 minutes plus overtime. Introducing first in the blue corner, with an official weight of 145 pounds. She is the #9 ranked UFC women's bantamweight out of Piranha Valley, Tudo, Carol Hossa. And in the red corner, with an official weight of 144 pounds, she's a 3-time IBJJF World No-Gi gold medalist out of hybrid jiu-jitsu, Raquel Canuto. And when the action begins, your referee in charge, Vitor Shaolin Ribeiro.
Matt Stewart for our opening bout, Vitor Shaolin. We have Canuto in the red, Hossa all in black. 8 minutes of regulation plus 4 minutes of overtime if needed. The home crowd here in support of Raquel Canuto of hybrid jiu-jitsu. BMAC, she has her school out here.
Yeah, and it's nice to hear them get excited for it. Just goes to show you what kind of gym they run. Like, they got to have a great culture over there.
Well, and Renato's a phenomenal grappler himself.
Dude, he's super high.
He's super high level.
One of the most fun grapplers to watch in the world.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, a little foot sweep attempt there by Hossa. Pummeling for this inside position.
Yeah, both ladies looking to go hard on the collar tie. Canuto looking for that arm drag.
We've seen a couple of attempts at foot sweeps, but nothing that might have even been a leg kick there.
Yeah.
She went for that calf kick.
Oh, calf kick's a popular move around these parts, right, John? Don't
yeah,
get
foot sweep.
Don't get Paul Felder going on the calf kicks.
Action blue. MMA stylists turn grapplers. Wow, grappling their first start. Should have said the other way around, really. But great to see them.
Oh, this big play by Hossa.
That was a really nice sweep right there, right into side control.
Look how easily
Canuto regains her butterfly guard.
I mean, simply regained it too.
Oh, I like that. I love when she gets the high double underhooks, trying to elevate the butterfly guard.
She's got her stretched out here. Base is going to be compromised for sure.
Absolutely.
She's going to have to watch she doesn't get her back taken right here. Canuto starts to shuck that arm up past her head, which we're starting to see. She's going to see a back exposure there. Here it comes. Oh, switching off to the arm. Nice recovery by Hossa.
And for the fans back home watching, that butterfly guard essentially, when you're able to stretch them out and elevate the butterfly guard, you become their base. And when you become...
choke.
Oh.
Sweep coming up. Good job there by Canuto. top half guard. Lockdown in play by Hosa. Trying to get a little space.
Yeah, but she's not controlling the posture, though.
Not at all. And the last thing you want to do when you're on bottom in this position is have your shoulder blades flat. You need to get to a hip. You need to create an angle to get to an underhook, as she's doing there right now. Maybe she can hear me. It does get a little quiet here in the Apex.
It does. If she can keep that underhook over on the same side as the lockdown, she can definitely start to create some sweeping opportunities for herself.
Yeah, but you can see, I love the smash pass.
She's hanging on to that lockdown, though. She looks like she's committed to it, knows how to play it. A lot of people would just use the lockdown as like a stalling position or a chance to catch their breath, but she's doing a good job keeping it laced up and whipping that lockdown around. See how she elevates the knees?
Yep.
Makes it hard for Canuto to cut underneath her there.
And the problem with the lockdown is a lot of athletes they know the technique, but they don't know how to properly use it. They don't know the game. And when you use the lockdown, you're locking yourself down to the ground. So if you don't know how to properly use it to elevate, to create sweeping opportunities, you're just keeping yourself flat on the mat, keeping yourself on bottom, which in most scenarios, if you are on bottom, you are losing the match.
I'll tell you what, she had that underhook for just a second. Was starting to get over to her side.
Canuto trying to prise her leg through, not having success at this stage.
Here it goes. Now she's going to have to bail on the lockdown now. She's in trouble. She's got to pass it quick.
Looking for a little knee cut.
Right over. Crowd enjoyed that one. 3/4 mount by Canuto.
And remember, no positive points accrued during regulation. So we get a lot of some positional changing going on here, but there's no scoring. Only the negative points add up during regulation.
And I got to ask BMAC, as somebody that's so familiar with the sport.
Full mount. We may be seeing an arm lock attempt coming here.
Oh, she's giving up the back, but she's a little high.
Oh, this is trouble. Canuto's a finisher.
Yeah, this is not a good position to be in. I'm curious. For you know all the rule sets of all the organizations for grappling. What would be your approach in a submission-only round, knowing that you have to go to a points round thereafter?
Well, I would say that it's an opportunity when there's no points. Oh, maybe seeing her make the choke locked in. I think she's going to get it.
Yeah, she gets the tap. Great job by Raquel Canuto in front of her home fans. She has mentioned her time competing is coming to an end. So let's enjoy this moment with her tonight. Really nice job of working towards the back and methodically breaking things down to get the rear naked choke.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner by submission via rear naked choke, Raquel Canuto.
I'm good. I'm here with Raquel Canuto. Raquel, how does it feel to open up be the first fight on the card, kind of set the tone for the matches going forward? Tell me how it feels.
After I got slammed on the ground, it feels great. But I'm happy, I'm so glad to see jiu-jitsu, what the UFC is doing for jiu-jitsu, because this is the stage that we deserve. So if I don't come here and do my job, how do I expect it to grow, right? So today, coming into today, I was like, I need to get a submission because we need to make the matches. We have to have the matches being finished. That's how people are going to want to see this.
And you're definitely a finisher, as we saw tonight. And you seem like a fan-friendly fighter out here. Seems like everybody knows you. How does it feel to be out here in Las Vegas? Your brother's a phenomenal grappler himself. Seems like your husband, I'm sorry. You're such I stand corrected. But it's like a hometown advantage for you.
Yeah.
You didn't have to come far. Does it feel good to be here competing in your hometown?
Yeah, I live 3 minutes away, so it was nice. But, I have all my students here. So that was a little nerve-wracking because I don't get to compete often, in front of them live. So I feel like there was a little pressure to, lead by example and make sure that I'm doing what I make them do.
Well, I would love for you to talk us through the finish. If you look up here, talk us through this finishing sequence.
So this is literally my game that I do every single day, but she had the lockdown pretty well, so I was trying to fit my 2 feet in, and I was hoping that she would bridge because I'm better taking the back on the other side. And just staying tight. I mean, this is like textbook Raquel Jiu-Jitsu, so just looking for the back. I always say all paths lead to the back, so I wasn't sure if I was gonna get it because it was kind of on her chin, but once she turned, I got it under the deck, so got the finish.
Well, that was a beautiful display of Raquel Jiu-Jitsu. Everybody get up for Raquel Canuto.
Congratulations to Raquel Canuto. Got bronze at the Euros in the gi this year. Said she felt that her timing was off. Her timing was very much on point tonight here at the Apex. And absolutely beloved by the combat sports community as well. We really feel that here. So the past, present and future of combat sports live on UFC Fight Pass. Watch the full history of UFC with the world's largest combat sports library, plus over 25 exclusive combat sports organizations from around the globe with live fights every weekend. Styles will collide in our next match as Las Vegas welcomes one of their own. Home is where the fight is for Las Vegas' own Shane Shapiro, who competes like he's double parked. And while he plans on rousing his home crowd tonight, he will have to solve the puzzle of a senior proponent of the rubber guard system, Ben Eddy. So, Kiesa, a man you know, Shane Shapiro from right here in Las Vegas at Syndicate, took to socials to express how crazy it was to be on this card with some of the champions tonight. But he said it reassured him he's doing the right things, and he now wants to prove to the world that he's at this level too.
It's just good to see him get back to competing. We saw him fight for LFA in December. It's great to see him competing at Fight Pass Invitational. When we talk about the skill set, this guy is so good with his X-guard, really good at getting underneath guys, becoming their base. He's a powerful wrestler. When you see him, stout in size. This is a thick 170-pounder, and he's very powerful on top as well. So it's going to be really interesting how he approaches another athlete that's good from the rubber guard. Is it going to be a battle to see who gets on bottom, or is Shane going to look to get on top and use his pressure passing and break the rubber guard of Ben Eddy?
Joe Rogan dubbed him the long-haired hippie nerd assassin. He claimed gold in Eddie Bravo's bantamweight combat jiu-jitsu tournaments. BMAC, Ben Eddy, 10th Planet, Austin. Just bringing a style that we're not going to see apart from when Ben Eddy steps onto the mat tonight.
Yeah, totally singular in his style. One of the most creative, especially with his guard, one of the most creative jiu-jitsu players that you're ever going to see. He's got this move called the Hindulotine. It's like a leg-in guillotine, and it sounds crazy. When you see it, it looks even crazier, but I've probably seen him hit this 40 times at black belt level competition.
Crazy.
It's just unbelievable.
Very much looking forward to seeing how these styles play out here at the Apex. All right, let's take a look at the tail of the tape for this contest at 170 pounds. Ben Eddy, Shane Shapiro, both from the United States. Ben Eddy represented 10th Planet Austin. Shane Shapiro, one half of the Shap Bros out of Syndicate MMA. With the athlete introductions, here's Justin.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next match is a no-gi welterweight singles match, scheduled for 8 minutes plus overtime. Introducing first, in the blue corner, with an official weight of 170 pounds, holding a Fight Pass Invitational record of 2 wins, 0 losses, and a professional MMA record of 2 wins, 0 losses. Out of Syndicate and Shapiro Brothers, BJJ, Shane Shapiro. And in the red corner, with an official weight of 165 pounds, he's a 2018 Eddie Bravo CJJ Bantamweight Champion and creator of the Hindulotine submission. Out of 10th Planet Austin, Ben Eddy. And when the action begins, your referee in charge, Jason Herzog.
Our match official for this one, Jason Herzog. So Shane Shapiro, the Vanilla Gorilla, looking to go 3-0 on FPI, but he did call Ben Eddy a puzzle piece. So touch him up, getting straight into it.
Shapiro really is a vanilla gorilla. I mean, look at the guy. Just thick.
This is really a total style mismatch as well. Like, these guys play completely opposite games. What Shane's really got to watch for, I mean, I think we're going to see him try to get to the top position for sure.
Yes.
But what he's got to watch out for is he does not want to let Ben Eddy have the overhook on Ben's left side. If he can get to that overhook, that's where all of his madness starts.
Oh, and I love that high single entry for Shapiro.
And you can see he's already trying to pull for that overhook.
And, you know, when you know somebody, I know the Hindu guillotine is a different guillotine, but you know he's got other front chokes in his arsenal. So for Shane, he's got to be careful when he goes for these low-level entries on the leg. You could see that he bailed out. The second he felt Eddie's hand come over the top, he bailed on the single leg.
There it is. Shane with the nice takedown there.
This is what we're all looking for, and I personally can't wait to hear some Eddie Bravo parlance from you tonight, B-Mac. Like another language, we're going to get a little meat hook action in here somewhere.
Oh, we'll probably see the meat hook, but Ben's going to have to get his paws on him first. Shane doing a good job keeping his posture out of there, getting Ben's knees turned to the side.
But since he's on bottom, we definitely won't see the stoner pass.
Yeah, you never know. We'll see the pass part.
Shane crediting his brother Jerry with him being on this journey. Overcame addiction thanks to his support system and martial arts. It's allowed us to enjoy his expression here today. Grew up in a really busy house where he and his brother were always scrapping with their friends in a really playful way.
Yeah, and he's a tremendous coach as well. I train at Syndicate out here in Las Vegas, and him and his brother really run a great program. A lot of
There's
passion.
that overhook.
Oh,
man.
He's got a lot of passion for the sport, and it's good to see him back to competing. You know, there's a long stretch where we were wondering why he's not competing because he's so talented. So it's good to see him get back to competing regularly, and right now getting back to his roots, which is jiu-jitsu.
Not a points guy either, is he, Shane Shapiro? Kind of runs through people, gets the submission, even when it comes to his MMA outings as well.
Looking to come over the top and hook the head. It's such a wrestling style pass. When you're in the half guard and you dive over on the head, you just see a lot of wrestle heavy grapplers really try to hook that guillotine from half guard and use that as a means to pass.
We're starting to get through the guard now.
Nice job there by
good pass.
Driving through.
That pass was really made with the consistency of the pressure that Shapiro. He never really took a step backwards. Anytime he felt in danger, he would bust the grips, but he never disengaged and stepped out of the pocket.
And that's something that some athletes, when they compete against 10th Planet guys, they get afraid to really go into the guard, go into where they're best. Shane did a good job of not giving him space to regain guards. There's so many tricky positions that the 10th Planet system presents.
So Shane moving through north-south, side control. On his other side now.
Ben's going to have to be careful here. He's digging in the underhook with his right arm, but that could offer front headlock opportunities for Shapiro.
Shane's just one of those competitors that when he gets his hands locked, it just becomes a problem. He's just so strong. You want to do your best to try to keep him from locking his hands on anything. Even if he's hooking a guillotine and you're not in danger of being choked, it's just going to be hard to break the grip.
He may be thinking about moving out towards a north-south position here, just pairing the guillotine and it's kind of faux cradle with a north-south choke.
Action red.
Ben Eddy told UFC.com if he won in a boring match, he would feel like that was a loss.
Well, Shapiro looks like he's fishing for a north-south choke. Lex, go back to side now.
For those who didn't catch our opener, B-Mac, can you just remind us of what happens in the first sort of regulation 8 minutes? No points scored in this session.
No points at all. So you're free to kind of open your game up. And this is kind of the answer to the question you were asking me a little earlier, Michael. When there's no points involved, you're free to take more risk to try to push the pace, because you don't have to worry like, well, if I go for this position and it doesn't play out and I end up on bottom, you know, I'm going to get scored on. And that really could change how you approach the match. So I think it's really important that if we're going to do points, that we got to have a period where the athletes are allowed to really like open up their game and hunt for submissions without the fear of just falling behind on points.
You know, and you're obviously very familiar with the 10th Planet system. Do you think that sometimes in a point scenario, could it put you at a disadvantage when you know there's points, when you know Benetti's strength comes from his guard?
Definitely, definitely. And, you know, there's positives and negatives to both the points rule sets to the no points rule set. I think they teach you different parts of the jiu-jitsu game. They allow you to focus on different parts of what make jiu-jitsu beautiful and strong.
And then you got guys like Andy Varela, who's a wrestling top pressure monster.
Just yeah, he's a pace machine.
He is, dude.
Man, speaking of great pace, man, Shane looking great passing and controlling from the top position.
He's doing a good job staying out of the legs of Benetti.
Yeah, he's coming with a great game plan so far.
If I'm Shapiro, I am going to start hunting for an arm from that north-south position. I would start fishing for a Kimura if he really wants to push for a finish in the submission-only round.
Oh, he's got that kind of body top that just makes you think he's going to rip your arm
right there.
off.
Now there he is. He's isolating them. I'm telling you, dude, I think I'm talking too loud over here. Now what Shane needs to do is he needs to put his chest on the elbow.
You got to be careful getting his own arm countered right here, though.
That is true.
Ben was following him with the hips, hoping to flip that into an arm lock. But Shane obviously could feel that coming, decided it would be better to just bail on it and try to crush this dude some more.
For all you people that have Fight Pass, go back and watch Matt Hughes.
Nice work. So
go back and watch Matt Hughes versus George St-Pierre 1.
The first time they fought, yeah. 1 second left on the clock in the first round.
That's how you count that Kimura.
Nice. Again, really nice work by Shane, working Benetti's arm against his head, just walking his fingers across the mat from that mount position.
Ben has his hand stuck on the inside, so it's going to be hard to finish the actual choke from this position, but very uncomfortable.
Yeah, just his frame, that body type as well, suffocating pressure.
See how Ben keeps his hands together and gripped on the inside, trying to stay away from that arm triangle position. Even though Shane is creeping his head around to the other side, if that hand is, yeah, there it goes.
Shane has a nasty arm triangle. If I remember correctly, I called this fight at LFA in December, and he crushed the guy with the arm triangle choke. I mean, he's got a tremendous squeeze. He's a very, very strong individual.
He's jacking that second arm up. Now, this is a real problem here.
He's been watching the Nicholas Marigali instructional video.
Yeah, man, everybody should be watching the Nicholas Marigali instructionals. I know I have been.
Can't wait to see him a little bit later on. But right now, Benetti versus Shane Shapiro. 5 seconds left in this regulation 8 minutes.
Time. Stop. Guys, you have 1 minute and go to corners.
So we're going to pause for 1 minute. We'll follow these guys back to their respective corners.
Be interesting to see how Ben approaches this, because you got to think that he's feeling like he does not want Shane on top of him again. Here's a couple of looks here. See Shane getting that underhook and then Ben trying to pull him down into his guard to get busy, but it was really Shane's style of passing that kept him from getting in trouble. Like, obviously, to pass the guard, you're going to have to get down in there and go through some danger, but the passing that Shane was choosing to do, was opting to do, was kind of on the outside, didn't drop down and try to pass tight and low, kept himself away from Ben's rubber guard, and eventually worked himself into that mount position and just really put the pressure on Ben the entire regulation.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how does Ben approach this, because I'm not to be rude, he does not have the same wrestling that Shane does.
No,
so
100%.
Does he try to pull a guard and go right into a sweep? That to me would be his best approach, to get on top, to start acquiring some points in this point scoring round.
So 4 minutes of overtime here. B-Mac, this is where the scoring comes into play.
Yep.
Ready?
Pretty much any action that would normally score in any tournament is going to give you 2 in this rule set. But the mount and back position both awarded 4. And it's interesting they're awarding the back and the mount as equal. And Ben does choose to pull guard.
Continued activity.
That big knee cut
by Shane Shapiro.
Stepping over, looking for the mount.
Ben keeping his butterfly hook in over on the left side. Now gets into a lockdown.
Now this will be interesting to see how he approaches the lockdown, because this is a 10th
Action
Planet
red.
competitor, and you know he's got a whole bag of tricks from that lockdown position. He's not just going to keep himself pinned on bottom.
Shane doing a good job, though. He's keeping his hip back on the lockdown.
Action blue.
Rather, a lot of people think the thing to do is try to power through that lockdown, but moving down the hips like what he's doing there is really the best way. Oh, Ben trying to get into a leg lock position.
Oh, and Shane.
Back take attempt by Shane, but he ends up with the exposed leg.
You know, and the other problem with the lockdown, too, is a lot of guys will pull their leg out. If you get your knee off the ground when you're in lockdown, try to pull your leg out, you'll essentially tear the ligaments in your knee on your own.
I've seen that several times, actually.
Yes.
Shane doing a nice job navigating that leg lock and moving right around the guard of Ben Eddy again. This could be a big chance to score. Ben fighting to hold on to this.
Just sneaking a toe in there.
And there it is. There's 2 for the pass.
Two blue. Two blue.
Now the knee on belly. Let's see if he scores this. They're waiting on him to post his foot.
Yes. So for the fans watching back home, to get a knee on belly, it has to be the near knee with your leg posted out. You have to be facing their head. It doesn't count if it's a knee on belly and you're facing their legs. Correct?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
6-0 now. Shane Shapiro way out in front, hunting for this arm triangle finish now.
Ben Eddy needs to get his arm straight, pop his hips, and pummel his elbow back in.
Uh-oh. Starting to put this pressure on. This is going to be tight. This is going to be tight.
Shane Shapiro with the submission in overtime. Great job. Third appearance here for FPI, third win. Brandon, walk us through how he got that done. Really, really nice jiu-jitsu.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner by submission due to arm triangle, Shane Shapiro.
What's up, my brother? You know, Shane, there was a time when we didn't see you compete for a while, and now you've had some frequency. We saw you compete in LFA in December. Now you're back here at the Fight Pass Invitational. How does it feel to just get back to competing regularly?
Feels great, man. You know, I had a lot of things going on in my personal life, but I feel like once I'm on and once I'm active, man, I can't be fucked with. Like, I know I'm one of the best. I belong up here, and I'm gonna keep fucking proving that. So that's all I got really to say, man.
Well, and you got a big contingency of people out here as well. I'm sure you got a lot of Shapiro Jiu-Jitsu students out here. How does it feel to be competing here in your home city?
It feels the best, man. I got the best team in the world, best support, best family, the best friends. Like, everyone in my life is I have such positive people behind me, so I'm very grateful to be doing this for them and for myself as well.
You might have one of the best arm triangles I've ever seen, because I've had to deal with it myself. So why don't you talk us through the finishing sequence up here on the screen?
Yeah, so I know once I get to mount, he was kind of hiding that arm. It was just a matter of time. I could feel him breathing pretty hard, you know. So once I jacked that arm up and got his bicep to his ear, I knew it was only a matter of time till I got that finish, you know. It's one of my best moves, so I feel good about it.
I know it's one of your best moves because I've had to deal with it myself in the gym. Everybody give it up for the local boy, Shane Shapiro.
Great stuff, Shane Shapiro, the Las Vegas faithful enjoying that performance. And Raquel Canuto, those Las Vegas natives going 2-0 so far tonight. He actually did a session with Rafael Lovato as well. I'm sure he was pulling for him too. We, of course, will see Lovato Jr. in our main event later. So next weekend, stream live and exclusive events from around the globe with UFC Fight Pass. The action continues Friday with a triple header featuring Ares FC, Cage Fury, and LFA. Then kick off Saturday with Fusion FC and the UFC 299 early prelims, followed by Fury FC on Sunday. Every week is Fight Week on UFC Fight Pass. Incidentally, the action continues for the UFC Fight Pass Invitational on UFC Fight Pass right now. So if you're watching on YouTube, head on over to UFC Fight Pass. Be quick if you're not already subscribed, as the action keeps rolling here in the Apex.
This is as real as it gets, and it's mind-blowing. I loved everything about that fight.
These are the moments that the fighters live for.
I can't wait. Oh! Kicked him in the face.
Dog Rose.
We will all witness a piece of UFC history.
Unbelievable. You're sitting at home watching this, and you just go, holy shit. The double tap does what he wants.
Master, teach me Kung Fu.
One of the most epic fights.
There's nothing I do better in this life than fighting.
Unbroken, baby. This team is unbroken.
We have a sport with some of the best athletes in the world.
Boom!
One of the greatest knockouts you'll ever see. Oh!
The UFC has never been stronger.
It does not get any better.
Oh, that is good. This is a crazy sport, ladies and gentlemen.